Hi, this is Jeremy Moskowitz, and in this video we're going to learn how to request licenses from PolicyPak. So you'll have to do this every year, so good to understand how this works. So this is the download, and in the download there's going to be a folder called Licensing for All Products. Go ahead and click on that, and then you're going to double click on the LT tool. Now the LT tool is going to ask you a few questions, and I'm going to kind of go through the most common scenarios. So hang tight if you don't see yours. I will get there. The first thing you're going to probably want to do is to find and disable unused computers. This is a great little tip because the idea is that we don't want to charge you for stuff you're not actually using. So you're welcome to use find and disable unused computers and look through here and find any computers you're not using. So by way of example, if I want to find, there's 22 unused computers that haven't ever had logons in 90 days. If you wanted to, you can select all of those and we will disable them. We're going to go into Active Directory and actually disable them. So you can see these are the actual computers there. Whoops. Go ahead and click there. They're the actual computers there. All right, so the point is that if you wanted to, you could disable 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you wanted, or you can go bananas and disable all of them. You can also include computers that have never logged on ever, which is kind of a different statistic, and that number could shoot up to like 100 if you've got a bunch of computers. So we don't want to charge you for stuff you're not using. If you decide that you want to re-enable them, you can just go back into Active Directory and re-enable them. The point is that we don't want to count these computers, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'll make it so that these computers, all of them, are going to be not counted toward my count. And just like that, boom, I've disabled them in Active Directory. All right. Second thing you're going to want to understand is how to generate a license request key. And this is where all the most of the magic happens. Okay. The idea is that you need to pick your path. Very common path is only Active Directory for use with GPO or SCCM or some other on-prem domain join machines. Then you also have Intune only. We also have hybrid, which is the on-prem Active Directory plus Intune, and we'll kind of go over that one last. So the first thing we'll do is we'll just do this only Active Directory join machines. And we're going to ask you two questions. One is, who are you? If you're a domain admin, you're going to want to select the entire domain. Now, maybe if you're not a domain admin, that's fine too. What you'll want to do then is select the top level most OU that you are the admin for. So if you're in charge of the sales division, that's great. If you're in charge of the North sales division, that's fine too. Pick the highest place that you yourself or someone on your team can help you to create and link GPOs. Okay, this isn't where you're going to use it. This is just who are you. Now, I'm a domain admin, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that. That's typically the best choice. Then the next question is, where do you want to use it? So if you want to use it for the whole domain, that's great. You'll go ahead and pick the entire domain. And what we're going to do is count all the computers, see the ones that are disabled. Hey, look at that. We've disabled a bunch. Then we're going to look at the ones that are trial computers. Those are the ones that have the word computer in the name. We don't count those either. We don't count things that are not Windows. And then we also add in your Citrix and terminal server connections. Okay, so we're going to try to count those. In order for this tool to get the most accurate count, you have to be running it from a machine that can see that information. You'll get prompted if that's not the case. Then last but not least, we give you a total count here. We call this your running count. Hey, look at that. You've got 52 computers across your entire domain. Oh, what's that? You don't want to do it for the entire domain? Then don't. Pick just the OU or peer OUs that you want. But note that you can't somehow magically, unselect some child and have the parent not come along for the ride, okay? So the idea is that once you've selected a parent, all the children have to come along for the ride there too, okay? So once we've done that, you're off to the races. Go ahead and click next, and you're going to click finish, and you're going to send this to us. I'll save this out in some new folder here. Desktop, new folder, I'll call this LT examples 1. Okay, so this is you can see it says on-prem AD Fabricam license request key. So this is the AD only path. Okay, fantastic. Okay, now let's go ahead and generate a different kind of license request. Let's pretend you wanted to use PolicyPak exclusively and only with Intune. That's totally fine. What you'll do is you'll go ahead and click begin here, and we give you some advice. Don't worry, I'm going to walk you through this anyway. What happens here is that we're going to download the Intune PowerShell commandlets. These are Microsoft's PowerShell commandlets. That's important, and you'll see why that's important in a minute. Once this is all downloaded on this machine, we're then going to ask you to log on as someone who's got the ability to check out all the computers that are in your Intune environment. Once we get that count, hey, that's what we need, and we can go off to the races. Now that did take a minute to go ahead and download. That's fully expected. And then you're going to log on. My guy is Frank at fabricam1000.com. You're going to put your credentials in here. This guy needs to be able to read. If you've got a global reader, that's always good. You can use a global admin too, or there are a bunch of other things that'll work too. But global reader is pretty good. So I'll use Frank at fabricam1000.com. Okay, and this guy, he's got two-factor authentication turned on. Here we go. Got to type that in. Very interesting. Okay, so you can see we're using the actual Microsoft technique to do this. Now, you can see what we're doing here. We're using the Microsoft Intune PowerShell commandlets to do this. And all it's doing is it's just reading your AD. We're not doing anything here. We're just reading your Azure AD, specifically just your Intune accounts. And by the time this is over, bang, hey, look at that. We found all the computers that were in Azure AD that were specific exclusively for Intune, and we found them. Now let's go ahead and click next. And you can see them here. This is just for demonstration. These are just the computers that we did find. And there we go, number of computers. If you want to save this out to CSV, you can certainly do that. We'll go ahead and click next. And this is a different request key. This is just for Intune. And if you look closely, it says Intune company name, and you can see what we got there. All right, so go ahead and click finish. Go ahead and save this out. Intune only, fabricam.com, license request key, and look at that, we're off to the races. Let's do the last one, which is hybrid. So we're going to go ahead and generate a license request key. What does hybrid mean? Hybrid means you've hybrid Azure AD joined your machine, which means you are connected to both on-prem AD and also Azure AD, but specifically, we're going to acquire the machines that are exclusively in Intune. So we're going to look for your AD machines and your Intune machines and not charge you for both. We're only going to charge you for one instance. Now, we've already run the tool. Let's go ahead and hit begin again. All right, let's see what happens here. Okay, I'm already logged on as Frank. We'll go ahead and do this again. All right, there we go. We found the same 24 machines. How is this different than before? Because now, after we find the 24 machines, now it's time to ask the same questions about your on-prem world. We've got the Intune world. Now it's time to ask about the AD and GPO world. And it's the thing we talked about earlier. So for instance, if you are the sales admin, you can click that. If you're the domain admin here, you can click that. And you're going to count the computers here as well. Okay, I'm going as far and wide as possible here to count all the computers that I can. Okay, the point being is that what we're looking for is this. We're looking to find the computers that are some in AD, some in Intune, and which are in both. Now, if you have some that are in both, we're going to light it up and not make you pay for both. So let me go ahead and expand this here. There we go. So here's how the licensing works. You've got all the computers in AD. You got all the computers in Intune. If you've got hybrid Azure AD joined computers that are also in Intune, we're going to minus those guys. Okay, so you're not charged twice. And then that's your number, okay? That's how the math works here. And you can save this to CSV. You can save it to Excel, and that way you can see what computers are in what, make it really easy for you. And then we'll go ahead and click Finish here, and then we'll save the key here, which is Azure AD Hybrid, okay, right there. And this is what you're going to send to the sales team. Now, if you're not using Intune for your MDM and you're using something else, well, notice how that's not a selection yet. So with that in mind, just tell your sales team person that you're not using Intune, but you are using, say, Workspace ONE or Mobile Iron or Citrix SIEM. That's totally fine. We just have a second set of directions, which involves you going to your environment, taking some screenshots, and that's good enough for us. So again, those are a different set of directions, but these directions are if you're using exclusively Intune. Hope this video helps you out, and looking forward to getting you started real soon with PolicyPak. Thanks so much.